Hi traders, it's Alberto, and today's Friday, the 14th, 2016. And this is a follow-up video from yesterday's support and resistance level tutorial. If you watched the video, you should recall that we had your Australian dollar was in a downtrend. It broke the first support level, and then it just reacted to that second support level. And so in this tutorial, we just follow up on showing you how you can determine if price will either create a false break and turn around and head north at a support, or it will penetrate and continue to go to the next support level. For that to happen, you need to have two things. You need to have the 1 hour and the 4-hour chart, MACD, mirror each other. So the crossover on MACD, as you see here on the 1-hour chart. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. And you see the two lines of MACD crossing to the downside. This is how you can tell if there's going to be continuation of a sell-off or a rally, simply by looking at MACD. And if the 1-hour and 4-hour chart are mirroring each other, then there's a good chance that that trade is going to work out. The only time that they don't work out is when the two lines are braided. Notice here, prior to the crossover on the 4-hour chart, the two lines of MACD were braided, so there was no direction. There was simply, MACD will tell you when markets are consolidating just by looking at the two lines. Either they're crossing to the upside or downside. So this is how I knew this is going to continue to sell off, simply by looking at a 1-hour, 4-hour chart, determining that the 1-hour, 4-hour charts are mirroring each other. The two lines are angle and separated going down. So this is just a matter of time before this support would be broken. And it did. The body of the candle on a 1-hour chart broke below the support, and that gave me an alert to take that trade. So that was a trigger, and that sold off about 100 pips. Prior to that, we took this trade when the body of the candle, the two lines, this is the rally, or rather the sell-off, and we exited this trade at the support where I think we were up like 32 pips on this trade. And then we had to wait to see if price, or not to see if, but we know with certainty if the two lines of MACD cross to the downside in the 1-hour chart and 4-hour chart, that it was just a matter of time. And it happened during the European session. Body of the candle closed below, notice here, and there's your trade to the downside. Okay, so this is very important. If you are not sure of taking a trade at a support and resistance level, this will help you determine and give you confidence to see if you should take a trade when the body of the candle closes below support, simply by looking at MACD. If the MACD lines are braided and it breaks a support, that's not a very good trade strategy. You need to make sure that the two lines are angle and separated on two time frames, 1-hour and 4-hour chart, if to be able to take this trade. And notice how this one worked out beautifully, simply because the 1-hour and 4-hour chart, the two lines of MACD were angle and separated, and it gave us 100 pips, broke the support, and it just sold off. Now we're hitting another support. This support is based on this 144.20 is the daily chart support level. Let's go to the daily chart, and there it is. This is support from August the 9th. And we would need the body of the candle to close below the support, and would have to be the daily candle, okay, because this is a daily chart and this is a daily support level. Then the body of the candle on the daily chart must close below that area before we could enter the market. So essentially, this trade is over. It's too risky to take a trade to sell down at these levels when price is hitting a support. Okay, so we'll reevaluate this next week and see if market does break the support. If it closes below the support on a daily chart, then yes, then that will give us the go-ahead to sell this even more. Let's go back to the daily chart. Notice we had a support here from August, and now it's revisiting that area, and it is a solid candle, but it's too risky to take this to short this area because it is a support level. And unless the body of the candle on a daily chart closes below, we don't have a trade here yet. Okay, I much rather see the market rally from here and go back up to a resistance level, and then start looking for selling opportunities. As you can see, we're starting to see some green come in. This candle hasn't closed yet, but it's pretty much, this trade probably is pretty much finished for the downtrend, and most likely will head north. If it does penetrate this support level, it is still too risky simply because the market has already done its daily range. Let's look at Aussie yen. So that was another trade. Again, two lines of MACD cross to the upside on the 4-hour chart. Notice that. So we scroll down to the 1-hour chart and see if it's identical, and it was. The two lines of MACD on the 1-hour chart, angles separated, broke the essential pivot point, closed above, and that was our signal to take the trade. Okay. Now, it hit the previous resistance level and then penetrated that and continued to go north. And you would know if this trade is valid simply by looking at MACD, making sure that the two lines of MACD are angled and separated on the 1-hour and 4-hour chart. However, if the two lines are braided, you don't have a trade. They must be angled and separated on 1-hour and 4-hour chart for you to be able to take this trade again. If you entered the markets down here, as I did, and then I exited when it hit the resistance level, but when it broke the resistance and closed above the resistance, I felt confident taking the trade again simply by looking at MACD, that the two lines of MACD are angled and separated, which means this trade has a lot of room to go north. There's not going to be a retracement anytime soon simply by looking at MACD. Let me give you an example how where not to trade. Notice the two lines of MACD sort of braided here. There's no directional bias. We don't know. The markets are consolidating. And MACD will tell you if there's a strong uptrend or downtrend move just by looking at a 1-hour and 4-hour chart. And here, there was no trade to take until the two lines crossed over. And then we use confluence of indicators. We've got bearish engulfing candle, and we have the two lines crossed. And this was, because it's a 1-hour chart, it was short-lived. It went to the support and turned around and went north. Okay. So in each trade is essential. It's so important that you make sure you analyze this properly on a 1-hour and 4-hour chart. So make sure the two lines of MACD on the 1-hour and 4-hour chart are essentially looking the same. They're mirroring each other. That's how you can determine if market is going to continue north, or if it's braided, most likely there's a lot of weakness in that trade, and most likely there's no interest in buying, and then the market retraces. But again, very important, the two lines of MACD and the 1-hour and 4-hour chart, they need to look the same. That'll give you the confidence to take this trade, even if you missed it at the bottom. You could always take it later. Now, I'm not sure if I would enter the trade right here, even though the New York session hasn't even opened yet. But the Euro Aussie yen is about 125, 150 pip range, and so far it's put in 120 pips. So it's a little bit dangerous to take this trade to the upside. I would prefer wait for there's some sort of retracement, and it may not happen today. Today's Friday. But if there is a retracement during the New York session, then that would be better to take this trade simply because we know that the market's in an uptrend. It's broken a major resistance level, and it clearly is in an uptrend, but this is not an area that I would enter the market. I took this trade 4 hours later and exited an hour ago, and then just waiting to see what happens during the New York session. Okay. So that's it for this tutorial. If you have any questions on the support and resistance level strategy, you just email me. Just go to the website that is shown here. Thanks for watching the video. Have a good weekend, and talk to you guys soon.